Are you tired of being broke? Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you tired of not having money in your checking account at the end of your payday when you pay all of your bills? Are you tired of not being able to get ahead financially in life? Are you tired of not having any spending money? My name is John McFall, and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel, where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery, and I also teach you how to make online income. In today's video, I want to talk to you about finances, especially because we are in the middle of the highest inflation that America has ever seen in 40 years, and it's just as bad all around the world. So today I want to talk to you about the different things that you should do right now if you're financially struggling, so that you can get yourself out of your hole and you can set yourself up to be successful. The one thing I want to say to begin with is a lot of people think that money makes people happy. The more money you have, the happier you are, and this is not really the case. More money isn't going to make you happy. If you're already a depressed person, you're still going to be depressed. If you're already a happy person, you're still going to be happy. If you're a jerk, you get more money, you're still going to be a jerk. Money doesn't change the way your personality works, and it doesn't improve your personality if you are in a negative way with your personality. So today I want to break down for you guys how you can help yourselves if you are financially struggling, to get yourself out of your hole and to stay out of your hole. To begin with, I want to say that in America over the last 50 years, society has really changed. And back 50 years ago, society used to pay for the things that they wanted in cash, and they used to get what they needed by paying cash for it. And today it's a lot different, because we have become such a debt-ridden society. We have so much credit card debt and home debt and car debt, and we put everything on credit in America because this is how things have been promoted to us, and we have such a get it now and instant gratification mindset in America today that everybody that is debt ridden typically has a lot of debt because they have high credit card payments, they have car payments, they have home payments. So the biggest thing that we've learned as a society in America is to go with getting debt to pay for the things that we want to get, instead of waiting to save the money to get it. So the first thing that I'm highly going to suggest to you is, if you are strapped with a lot of credit and you have a lot of debt on credit, we need to start working on that immediately. And the first thing that you need to do to dig yourself out of this hole is you really need to start by planning a monthly budget. I've talked about a budget in a couple of other videos, and you might be surprised if you are not using a budget right now and you have all these payments and all this debt that you're doing. You might be surprised if you create a budget for yourself and see exactly what you're doing with your money. You might find that by creating a budget, you're going to see that you are spending money where you don't need to, and this really hinders you saving money and getting yourself out of debt, because you don't have any control of your money. If you don't control your money will control you. If you are strapped with a lot of debt, you are literally a slave to these credit card companies. You're a slave to your lender for your vehicle. You're a slave to the lender for your home. What I mean is, if you are strapped with debt, you have to get up every single day and go to work, and all you're doing is going to work to pay off this debt. It's really hard to live a good, financially successful life if you are a slave to your credit. And the next thing that you need to do to get yourself out of your financial situation is you need to start taking care of putting this credit to rest and getting rid of it so that you're not strapped with the payments that you have any month. So the first thing I'm going to recommend when you get your budget is the very first thing that you should do is you should budget yourself out an emergency fund. One of the biggest reasons that we have problems with our money and that we're tied to credit and that we have to use credit is because we have no money in our bank accounts, and if something big happens, let's say your car breaks down or you know, something breaks in your house, like your appliances, or you know, maybe your TV or something like that, we don't have an emergency fund set aside to be able to take care of these unseen expenses that come up in our lives. And if you don't have that emergency fund set aside, you're going to have to rely on credit to be able to get that taken care of. So the first thing I highly recommend once you get your budget done, and this is going to be the hardest part, is getting started in this, is make sure that you put away $1,000 and have that money set aside in cash. I have an envelope that's hidden from everybody but me, and I know where this envelope is, and it's got my emergency fund so that I can make sure if something happens and I've got to pay something right now that's unexpected, I've got the cash to do it. So really take a look at your budget and see where you can pull out $1,000 and get that cash out and put it in a coffee can in the ground, or put it under your mattress, or put it, I've seen people where they put it in a picture and just have that money sitting there in case emergency comes up. Once you have your budget and you have your emergency fund, the next thing that you should do to get rid of your debt is always take a look at the amount of debt that you owe on each thing, whether it's a credit card, whether it's a car, whether it's your home, whether it's student debt, and start paying that stuff off. I would suggest that you start with the lowest amount bill that you have that's credit, that's outstanding, and pay that off. And then once you pay that off, then go to the next lowest one and apply what you were paying on that first one, that now that it's paid off, that you can apply to the second one. And once that second one's paid off, then you can apply what you were paying to that to the third one. And you'll find, if you do this the right way, that over time you can really get rid of all of your debt that you have by starting with the smallest one and applying what you were paying to that to the next one and to the next one until you get everything taken care of and paid off. It might take you a while to get it all paid off. You might have to work some extra hours. You might have to go out there and do food delivery a little bit more to have some extra money to pay this stuff off. But if you take a look at it and you start with that lowest one, you can get yourself out of debt and you can get rid of all the credit that you have outstanding. The third thing I'm going to suggest is this, is in America, in our society today, we are so inundated on social media and on TV and even here on YouTube, and we are all, you know, just hit with things that make us think that we need to keep up with the Joneses, and we need to get ahead further than the person that lives next to us, and this just is not the case. So what I'm going to suggest here is, if you have something that you can get rid of that is costing you a whole lot of money every month, you know, let's say you have a very expensive car and you're making really high payments on that. Get rid of that car and get something less expensive so you're not paying as much every month on things like that. And also, I said it before, take a look at your actual bills. And one thing I'm going to recommend is take a look at like your cell phone bill, because on our cell phone bills, we get phones through our cell phone providers, and we pay, you know, sometimes $50 to $75 a month to have the latest iPhone or the latest, Android device. And if you take a look at it and you're paying an extra $50 to $75 a month on a phone, go to places like Craigslist and eBay and Amazon and Facebook Marketplace. You can find a lot of the newer phones. You can get them for, let's say the latest iPhone 12. You can find one on one of these places that you might be able to get it for $300 or $400 instead of paying a company like Sprint or T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon $50 a month over a 2-year period, and this equals $1,200 that you're paying for that phone. So take a look at your bills and see what you're paying on things that you can reduce by not paying these companies an outrageous amount for the things that you have. And this will help you really reduce your monthly expenses. If you take these 3 steps and you work with getting a budget going, and you work on paying off your credit, and you also stop having these excessively priced things that you own, and are able to get rid of some of those, you're going to see that your monthly expenses are going to go way down. And this leads me into the final thing that you can do if you take these steps and go through this process, is you can actually start saving money and putting money away so that you can start building up cash and start paying for things in cash, which is going to save you a ton of money, because you're not paying interest on things that you want to buy, and you're not having to spend money every month on debt that you're using to get the things that you currently have. So if you do these first 3 things, the 4th thing you can do is you can start putting money away and start saving money in your account, and not have to worry about having high payments and interest payments on the things that you want. And this will allow you to build up a lot of money in your checking account. And if you do this, then you're not going to have money problems anymore, because everything that you're doing is you're paying in cash, and you're going to keep that money for yourself instead of giving it to all of these companies. So I hope that I taught you a lot today, and I hope that you get yourself out of the situation you are in. A lot of people think that they're in a dire situation and there's no way to get out of it. And if you start controlling your money instead of letting your money control you, you can find that even if you don't really increase your income, that you can get rid of the debt that you have if you actually start controlling your money instead of letting your money control you. I want to remind you that down here in my description I have some great tools for you. The one I want to talk to you about today is Stash. Stash is a great place that you can go once you've done all these things and you have some cash. You can dump money into Stash, and this will give you a better rate of return than you would get on a normal bank account. The cool thing about Stash is you can start it for $5, and you can put as little as $5 a month to get it going. So you could even do it right now. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit that you put away right now will help you in your future. I want to say that if you grab a Stash account on the link in my description, I do get a commission for it. But the great thing about Stash is you can get into it right now for very little money. I also would like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. And finally, I want to say I hope that you are getting everything that you need for you and your family. And with that, I want to say thanks.